What's up YouTube? V8's back with another review. Up for review today we have the latest release from Sideshow Collectibles DC line Catwoman. This is a quarter scale mixed media statue. Let's start by looking at the box. The box has a nice picture of the figure up front against a backdrop of Gotham City with the bat signal on the skyline. The sides has the same picture wrapping around, and the back has a Catwoman written in script with a scratch. Once you open up the box, this is what you're greeted with. If you got the exclusive, you would get a total of 8 pieces. If you got the regular, you would get 6. Moving on to the assembly of the statue. Assembly is pretty straightforward. You start with inserting the statue into the base via a peg in her left leg. Next, you insert the cat into the base. Again, it goes in via a peg. Now, if you got the exclusive, you will choose the hand you want to display the statue with and attach that via a magnet. Next, you attach the left hand with the whip, and again, it's a magnet. Step 5, if you got the exclusive, you will attach the jewel bag. Step 6, you would position the whip. It's a bit tricky, but if you have patience, it'll get done. Step 7, you attach the chosen head. Now, depending on whether you got the exclusive or the regular, you would have anywhere between 2 to 4 configurations to display the statue at. The exclusive comes with an additional hand that holds the jewel bag. Personally, I prefer the unmasked look holding the jewel bag as my preference for display. So on with the review. As I said at the beginning, this statue is part of Sideshow's DC line and is based off the artwork of Stanley, the art germ Lau. Personally, I'm beginning to really admire Stanley's artwork, and I'm becoming more and more of a fan. In fact, I'm actually looking now, since I got the statue, into buying the Sideshow portrait, the original artwork, to go with the statue. I love the pose so much. The statue is quarter scale, mixed media, so there's fabric on it. The costume, the whip is of a pliable material, and even the mask on her head is of the same material that they've used for her body. The fit is quite nice. There's no saggy bits here and there like some of the other statues, and if you've been following reviews online, you'll also know that she's actually fully sculpted under the statue. If you prefer that sort of thing, you can actually take the zipper down and display her that way. The fit, again, one more thing I want to mention, the fit of the costume on the body is perfect. If you owned Sideshow's earlier release of the Baroness, you would know that the fit of the costume on that statue was not done well, even though it was fitting perfectly. The alignment of the seams was not corresponding with the body. So let me start by going into what I really love about the statue. I love the detail on the base. It is simply phenomenal. I love the pose. I love the way the body has been sculpted. Very true to the artwork. The anatomy on the body is again spot on, and I would consider this as one of the best female characters Sideshow has put out. The cat itself also deserves good mention. It is a really nicely done piece. And last but not least, the head sculpt on this statue is simply at another level. Okay, so now since I've done with the likes, I need to mention a couple of issues that I have with the statue. first off would be the head sculpt, and specifically the unmasked portrait, wherein there's a tiny lock of hair. Now for those who don't have the statue, basically when you get it, the tiny lock of hair isn't attached, and you would have to actually glue it on for it to display well. So I didn't like that bit, and I thought, I mean, it was unnecessary. If it was going to be such an issue, it could have been made without it. The next bit that I'm not too happy with is the jewel bag. The jewel bag, as you can see in the prototype versus the original, there's a vast difference, and I mean, it's not a complicated paint job. I think it could have been done, and given that you're adding this as an exclusive, you might as well go the extra mile and choose the right shade of red. The third bit I have with this statue is also one of the favorite things I love about the statue, the unmasked portrait. Now, if you've been following on the forums and on Facebook, you would know that a lot of people got their unmasked portraits with the famous Sideshow googly eyes. And while I feel the example that I got is one of the best out there, I still feel it could have been improved a bit, but I'm fine with it. But if you do happen to get the statue, that's the first thing I would recommend you check, the eye position. And if you unfortunately get that, there are fixes out there. On the forums, there's a guy who does basically eyeballs that you can stick on decals, and they could help you out. But to be honest, the skill required for that type of futzing is way beyond me. I'd just hit up Sideshow for a replacement. The next piece that I have an issue with in the statue is the whip. While I understand Sideshow needed to make it out of a pliable material, it does not display as well as you would like it to be. Maybe that's my experience, but it does take an amount of work to get it to display right, and even then I'm not totally happy with the final result. But again, I understand that if it would have been made solid, Sideshow would have to deal with a lot of breakages, and I suppose this is the best compromise that they could have come up with. Specifically to my statue, I noticed a couple of issues. One is there was a bit of paint scuffs on the cat's tail, and a bit of paint overspray, looks like, on the collar of her suit. Other than that, there's nothing more that I could find wrong with the statue. So what do I think about this statue? Taking into account all the positives that I mentioned and some of the negatives, I would rate this statue as a solid 95. A definite buy if you're a DC fan or a Sideshow fan in general. Finally, I would like to thank you for watching. I would like to request, if you liked what you saw, to like, comment and subscribe. And till I see you next time, this is V8 tuning out.